834 Central Avenue. I'm here as a member of the Coalition to Save Rahway River Park, and I'd like to raise a number of questions for you. I hope to get some comments from you. I'm sure you know about the project. It's called an athletic complex, football stadium. It's very hard for us to find out information about this project. The freeholders will not directly answer our questions. They say there is no contract, and we have copies of contracts that have been let going back to 2011. But there are a number of issues. I'm sure some people behind me will speak to them, but toxicity of the artificial turf fields is one thing. Money, so Rahway has to contribute approximately $2.5 million to this project, and it's also going to change the appearance of a historic park, probably a uniquely beautiful park in this area. And nobody has really had any input into this at the citizen level. When you talk to people in the park, at least when we started, over 90% of the people knew absolutely nothing about this project. And still many people don't know anything about it. So it's going to change the park drastically, and it should be considered carefully. There are alternatives. People have suggested that Veterans Field be altered. An interesting example exists right down the road in Avondale, at the Avondale Middle School. There was a soccer field that used to be a swampy mess that has been changed with fill, probably construction fill. But they've constructed now 2 cricket fields on that area, and it is completely changed. It's large, certainly large enough to accommodate a football field there. They also rehabilitated their combined soccer, baseball, football field for the middle school, and all of this was done for $500,000. So there are alternatives, and one of the questions we would like to have addressed is whether these alternatives have been looked at. As a matter of fact, Union County has announced that within the next couple of years, they plan to build at least 1, possibly 2 fields at Greenfield, near Madison School. And if that's the case, why are we building another field in Rahway River Park for $2.5 million? And as I said, the alternatives exist, and in no way is this an assault on the athletic futures of Rahway's children. I myself was a soccer coach for about 30 years. If I remember correctly, Mr. Jacoby was on one of the first soccer fields, soccer teams that I coached, going back a fair amount of years. So, you know, I like to see, I think it's absolutely necessary that young people have athletic opportunities and training. But I also think that Rahway River Park is a gem and should not be changed in a way that's going to destroy it, especially if people don't have any input. So I would like to ask the council to seriously consider having you provide a contact person who can answer some of these questions, which simply are not being answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for coming forward. And I will ask our Business Administrator, Ms. Rahway, to address some of those concerns.
Agree with you, Council President. The reason a lot of the questions that I believe we spoke before have not been answered is because those answers are not developed yet. I believe the freeholders have stated that once the plans have been developed, there will be a public meeting specifically for the park project, and there will be an opportunity for residents to come, ask questions, and get any answers. We can't tell answers that we don't know, and we're still in the planning process of that part, in conjunction with the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders. I believe that should be sometime in June that we should have a clearer idea. To notifying residents the plans for this park, I know that the last year's freeholder chairman announced it in January in his freeholder address. I know the mayor announced these plans in 2014 at his State of the City address. I know the city of Rahway put in very, very preliminary plans in a Rahway review, which is mailed to every single household. We are trying as many ways as we can to inform residents of this plan. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback as well. I think it's important to note that even in the preliminary plans, this project is going on an existing field. It already is a football field. It will not just be for Rahway residents, although I believe the Rahway High School students will benefit from it. It will be open to the public. It is part of the Green Acres funding, and so it will be open to anyone when not being used by an organized organization. I agree 100% with the speaker. Rahway River Park is a gentleman park. My mother was there yesterday. I have had family picnics there. It is a beautiful, beautiful facility. To the speaker's point,
I'm sorry, please keep it down, thank you very much.
To the speaker's point, Veterans Field and Greenfield have both been looked at to have improvements. The freeholders have announced that there will be additional improvements to Greenfield, but they are either cost prohibitive, it's not as simple as just throwing the fill in and building the field, or not practical for this project. But as I stated, the plans are still being developed, and there will be a public hearing when people can come ask questions and get answers, and that will be announced.
I'm Martin Majeski, 2126 First Street in Rahway, and I am trying to save Rahway River Park from the football field. My question is, well, it's not a question, it's a statement. I belong to the coalition to save Rahway River Park, and I don't see why we can't use Greenfield. There's plenty of space there for football, baseball, and soccer fields. You have Madden Field, which I know my kids used to play from CYRC. They used to play baseball down Madden Field. And Pop Warner plays football on his field. Most certainly can use an upgrade. If you ripped everything out of Madden Field, put a nice big football stadium in there, and a baseball field, and there's still room for the playground for the children that live down there, you most certainly would have Pop Warner be able to share a decent looking field, because his looks pretty crappy. And as far as Veterans Field, everyone says it floods, but the city didn't have a problem putting an amphitheater. Unless Moses parted the floodwaters, that end of the outside part of the field doesn't flood into the amphitheater, and then our library flooded, they tore that down. And what they put up? They put up a tennis court. The library goes downtown, which isn't feeding to any schools, and then there's on River Road. That street floods like crazy. I live 2 blocks from River Road. The city gave permit for 2 brand new houses to be put up there. If I had seen the people that were looking at those houses, I would say, run for your life because that's going to flood. These houses are built on scale. So their garage is down there, their family room and living quarters are upstairs. Wait till that first storm comes and that's going to hit those people. I don't have a problem. I'm not objecting to the kids getting a football field. My kids did not go to, they went to private schools, so my kids did not attend any Rahway schools. But I mean, I pay taxes and I pay tuition to Catholic schools. But I'm not opposed to a football field. I'm just opposed to ruining the park that I appreciate and I use all the time. It's the only green space we have. Floodlights will completely destroy the wildlife that's in there, and the bugs that use that go to those lights. Those bugs are eaten by the birds who help control the insect population that's in the park. That will be gone. The wildlife that's there will be gone. And I said, I don't see any problem. I said, I'll say it again, I'm not opposed to a football team field somewhere for these kids. Fix Veterans Field. And it has been spoken to engineers that say that field can be fixed. And I mark my word, you people were all put in office to serve the people, not to serve yourself, and make a decision that 3,100 people signed a petition that don't want it. There's 1,800 followers on Facebook that don't want it and support us. That there's got to be something wrong, and mark my word, you build that field in the park, I get you in 5 years, Veterans Field is going to have a building on it, because Rahway is going to build something on it. They do that all the time. Any place that's flooding is proven. As I said, the amphitheater, the tennis courts, and the houses on River Road. There's 5 houses for sale on River Road. They'll never sell those houses. But some foolish people are buying these 2 brand new homes that they put up. The other brand new home that was built 2 years ago, that's been for sale for 2 years. Nobody wants to buy it. The guy can't even get out of it. He's stuck. And unfortunately, he probably would tell the new people, don't buy this house. You're in for a heartache. Thank you.
Thank you.
Diane Baker.
Who is it?
Oh,
Okay.
Stan Jesse, Waller, 3rd Street. Owner 47 years.
leave Rahway Park alone. Beautiful, beautiful animals, beautiful eagles, just like ever. Leave it alone. Fix the damn field over there. You got all these smart engineers that can fix the damn field over there. You can fix it. You got Madden Field, you got a football field over there. Go over there, fix it. Fix it all. What the hell is this? What are you going to destroy our park? We got nothing. All we got is brick buildings here. Nobody in them. What do you call that? You got a ghost town here. That's what you got. A ghost town. Leave the damn park all alone.
Thank you. Anyone else for this?
Diane Bill Baker.
No, I didn't.
2116 Church Street in Rahway, and I just want to say I'm a proud member of the coalition to keep this stadium the hell out of Rahway. Again, just like I was saying, it's bothering everybody. I'm not against the kids having a football field. This is not a football field. This is a football stadium. It's a lot different, and it doesn't belong in the park. As far as other options, I think they can say here we have other options. We have to really seriously look at this. People don't know because they're not being told. We know because we're out there handing the circulars out. People are shocked when we give it to them. I never knew about this. We're here. Even the bicyclists that go there. We were there Tuesday. The bicyclists are there every Tuesday. We had a meeting with them. They were totally shocked that this was going to happen. We gave them the thing. They are now on our Facebook page and they've signed our petitions. And our petitions are growing only because people are starting to find out about it. You can't find anything out. And the more people are finding out, the more people are getting a little pissed off about it. And you're going to hear a lot more about it as we're growing. I just want to tell you, please don't mess this up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jeffrey Freeman.
I'm Jeffrey Freeman, 1022 D'Antonio Drive in Rahway. I am an immediate neighbor of Rahway River Park. The center of the park where the stadium is planned, and I put the word planned in quotes because I've been getting a lot of double talk from the freeholders about this. The freeholders have referred to the center of the park not as a park, but as an existing sports complex, despite the fact that it has hundreds of trees, that most of it is green, and there are scattered around it baseball fields, playgrounds, picnic areas, etc. But it's still the green center of the park that provides the view shed to the wetlands and the tremendous wildlife. There's 3 or 4 species of herons, at least 3 species of gulls, maybe half a dozen species of ducks, cormorants, all kinds of things, lots of other wildlife that will be disturbed by this. I speak not just for myself, but for 90% of my neighbors on D'Antonio Drive and on Maurice Avenue in Rahway, 90% of the people, and I have signatures to prove it, which I will present to Councilman Cox, who unfortunately is not here today, my councilman, but I have called him. I'm waiting for an answer to try to set up a meeting about that. We've heard from the freeholders that our website presents misinformation, and they say, well, in their leaflets they say, oh, it's not a 6-foot fence, it's a 4-foot fence. They say it's not 5,000 seats, it's only 1,200 seats. And they say there is no plan. Where does this 4-foot fence come from? Where does 1,200 seats come from? It comes from a plan. You want to say it's not a plan, or is George Orwell present, please, to explain doublespeak? Have people read George Orwell? I imagine you have. Okay. We hear again from Business Administrator Roundtree mentioned several times that the plans have been presented here, there, and everywhere, but the plan is not developed yet. There is a preliminary plan. Call it what you will. Call it a prospectus, an invitation for bids, an idea, a dream, whatever. We want that consistent. We want to know. Originally it was posted 5,000 seats, now it's only 1,200. It's falling all over the place. If there was something announced in the past, it's falling all over, and we hear repeatedly there's no plan. And also, and I speak for everyone in Rahway, but especially the people living around the park, our property values will be destroyed. The crowds, we know all the littering that goes on in the park already will be 10 times over with the stadium. Once 1,200 seats are built, they'll 5,000, oh, we need more. The parking, 400 spaces in the park is full on any good day in warm weather. We continually told there is no plan for parking. That is utter nonsense. What are we going to say afterwards? That, oops, we made a mistake, let's pave over a piece of the park? That's a complete damn lie to say there's no need for parking. Let's have some straight answers, and let's not hear it after the contracts are signed. Let's have a referendum, because everybody is against this. And as my friend Bob Carson has presented, alternatives exist. We've heard, oh, they're not cost effective. Let's see some studies about that. Let's have that all out in print, out in public, official from the county and from the city, before we go spending $5 million that we in Rahway will be taxed twice for, and 20-year bonds, which will, God knows, triple. Let's hear it, and let's have some input from the public, not just a hearing where we're told what you're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Kofi Peter Matting. No. Lenny Rosenblatt. Lenny Rosenblatt. Scott Aruda.
Okay, just a moment. We're just calling people on the list, and then we're going to open it up to the floor. So just one moment. We're just going through our list. Thank you. Who is it?
Scott Aruda?
Yeah. Scott Ruda, 33C Parkway Drive in Clark, and I also am a member of the Coalition to Save the Park. As other people have mentioned, there's a bunch of different issues, but one of the things that is a real factor is that we have 3,200 signatures on a petition of people who have become aware of this and are dead set against it. We've also got 12 or 1,300 members of our Facebook page who are also becoming aware of what's going on and are opposed to it. One of the things that I don't like about this idea where you say, well, in June we're going to present the plan. Typically what happens, it seems to me, is that when a government body turns around and says, okay, we've developed a plan, here, let us show you what we're going to do. That's not a give and take situation. That's a kind of thing you pass all your resolutions before you come to this meeting, and then you just do a roll call and everybody says yes and it goes through. People have mentioned about the endangered species in the park, and there are several. They're going to be threatened with this kind of development. It is not just an existing upgrade to an existing field. That existing track that's there is a 6-lane track. It measures about 230 feet across and about 400 feet long. The plan for the stadium, which was published by the mayor, and we've done Oprah requests, and we have documents from the engineering company who has budgeted out your part of the plan and the county's part of the plan, and expressly details the amenities. The county is going to do the turf field, and the Rahway is going to do the stadium, or we're going to do the amenities. And so the amenities, we're going to be a 5,000-seat stadium bleacher system, which I guess once people started raising their voices, now all of a sudden it's become 1,200 seats. There's a stadium lighting plan that's part of this, which is going to be probably 6 towers, maybe 100, 150 feet high, with multiple, like the Linden Field that has 18 fixtures per stand, so it's like over 100 fixtures that are going to turn night into day. And that's going to have a profound effect on the species in the park. So we really don't like that idea. There's the other amenities are going to be 3 buildings. So you're going to build permanent structures in the center of the Great Lawn. This is directly against the Olmsted's design for the park, and the whole idea of passive contemplation and the benefits of open scenery. You're going to destroy that whole center of the park. I'm from Clark. There's a lot of people from Clark who are opposed to this. We understand your problem with the field in Veterans Park. We have heard from many people that there are alternatives and there are ways to improve that. There's also other locations. We don't think your problem with your field entitles you to take over the park. We really don't. You know, I know it's a great deal for you. You guys are going to put up $2.3 million, and you're going to wind up with a $6 million stadium to play in. At the end of the day, 20 years down the road, when the bonds are paid for, it's going to be a $10 or $12 million project that's going to come out of the taxpayers' pockets. So we don't like that idea either. I'm sorry, I talked about the existing field being 230 feet by 400 feet. The plans that have been presented are scaled off at 350 feet wide, and the overall project is 650 feet long. And that comes way out into the center of the field, into the center of the Great Lawn. So you're really going to destroy the park. And again, I think that you should really rethink this.
Thank you, Mr.
I shed another tear for the city of Rahway today based on what I witnessed again, the hypocrisy of this council, basically the arrogance that you have heard nothing that anyone said here, didn't table it. You came in here with the notion we're going to pass whatever we want to do anyway. And this has been the problem since I've been coming here for the last 6 years. It's all about what you want and not what we want. You got to keep pushing these things through without a care. You opening these pilot programs, it's stressing the city services out, then you turn around, and you got a certain amount of people per fire truck you're going to need, so we're going to need another firehouse. Who's going to pay for that? And after pilot, 30 years, they're not going to pay it. We're going to pay. Merck is going to leave. Oh, we got to hit the people again, because you already hit us for that when you got to reassess it. But you continue to work for yourselves. Always. What do you do for the people? Who come up here and support you? When do you listen to us? But you know what? I blame the people wrong because they put y'all in here. It's not the people that voted. It's the people that didn't vote that should have came out and voted. Because if they knew the hypocrisy that you guys display, none of y'all should be here. And y'all all got these faces. So yeah, we do what we want. Y'all a big bad council. Y'all show profit. But you know what? Your day is going to come. And I'm going to be here to point it at you.
Thank you.